Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US30, sell it, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stocks Network Trading. My name is Ron. My partner is Dave. It is almost 10 a.m. Eastern in another 6 minutes. So Wall Street just opened up, guys. Sorry for the timing. I had to go to a doctor's appointment this morning, and so we're gonna do a post New York session, just right after Wall Street market open, and then we'll go till about noon or maybe 12:31 p.m. Okay, depending how everything moves. We're going to get started by looking at US30 and NASDAQ since Wall Street just opened up. And then maybe around 11 in an hour from now, we'll introduce gold to the charts and we'll do a top down. Okay, so I hope everyone's having a great day. We're going to move a little faster today. And let's get into this. So the markets are moving right now as we're speaking. Dow broke out of here, created this little point of control block right here, this green block that already retested, and we're going to see if it can continue to hold up, maybe make some new higher highs, or if it will break down and sell off a little bit. NASDAQ on the opposite side had a big sell-off during the market open at 9:30, and you can see if you figure out that kind of point of control, you can see when it came in there, got rejected, pushed back down. Now it could be coming right back in, and again, we'll see if this block can hold or if it's going to get rejected again. Okay, but we're going to do a full analysis, not just jump in like this. We could do this type of style trading if you guys do enjoy this, but it's better to do a thorough top down, see how everything is moving. I'll go a little bit faster, so I'll speed it up. That's why, guys, I need you guys to learn this stuff so we can speed up the process and start getting really into the price action. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining, and just quickly over news, Forex Factory, just real quick right now. We had some Canadian news come out in the morning at 8:30. That's already been released. We had some building permits and housing starts here in US. 10 a.m. we're going to walk into this right now. FOMC member Bowman will be speaking. We'll have some speakers throughout the day. And that's basically the news for today. Also, President Trump has already spoken here at 8 a.m. Eastern. So right over here, U.S. President Trump, hope Putin will be good. If not, a rough situation. The article is over there. He did meet with President Putin last Friday, and he did meet with Zelensky and European leaders and NATO leaders yesterday. So that's in the markets right now. That's in the news. And just continuing, guys, we do have Jackson Hole Conference Symposium. It's a 3-day event held every single year. It's held Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, okay? We did a blog on that to help you guys understand a little bit more about it. We had big earnings today. Home Depot released their earnings at 6 a.m. If you guys were trading the Dow and you saw that big bearish candle and you were wondering what it was right over here. At 6 a.m., Home Depot released their earnings. They were below estimates, both earnings per share and revenue. Did not beat analyst estimates over here. However, guidance was strong. They didn't really talk about tariffs. Home Depot is an American company, so sometimes they don't want to talk about tariffs and things like that related to Donald Trump. They support Trump. But that's how it is. Someone asked me, well, Ron, how are they up 4 or 5% right now when they had disappointing earnings? Sometimes it's puzzling. Sometimes it's puzzling to even, sometimes I'm scratching my head too, wondering why. So it could be guidance. It could be maybe that they're anticipating rate cuts to come in September, and that will heat up the housing markets and renovations and home builds. And when you're selling your home too, think about it. When you're selling your home, you want to make it look real respectable to your potential buyer. So you might have to do some small home renovations. You might have to upgrade, maybe paint, maybe do some things. So those that they're forecasting in the near future, if they do decrease interest rates, it's going to stimulate the the housing markets and get more renovations. So that was just listening to the guidance call. I was listening to it earlier this morning. That's what I got from it. We also have other home builders. We have Lowe's this week, and also some big box retail stores as well. So that's earnings in the after hours today. No big names in the after hours. Okay, guys, so let's just continue moving forward. We sent you guys out right here, a blog on the Jackson Hole Symposium earlier this morning. It's over here, available on our website. If you come to our website and you click on more blog, here it is. So here's the Jackson Hole Symposium. I'll read it later on what it exactly is, but it has to do with Jerome Powell and a lot of financial analysts from around the world. It's a 3-day event, okay? So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. So let's get into the charts now. Let's start off with US30. I'm going to start a quick top-down analysis. So you can see that green block was from the first 5-minute bullish candle coming out of Wall Street, and we are still currently holding at it. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that. We're going to get started on the daily, see how everything is moving. Remember, guys, Home Depot had earnings. Again, it will affect US30, like I said yesterday, more so than it will affect NASDAQ. Okay, but NASDAQ also has some news, guys, too, with Intel. A Japanese company, SoftBank, bought $2 billion worth, and I believe Intel is up quite a bit right now. Let me just double check for you guys. They did have a significant news this morning. Yeah, they're up 10% right now. Intel Corporation is up 10%. They're a part of right over here. Yeah, SoftBank takes a $2 billion stake in ailing chip company. So that's why Intel is up 10% right now. Okay, so just getting started back with over here. US30, we do have this supply area, double top all-time high supply. We came into it kind of over here third time, July, August of this year, and you see we're trading right back into it. Look at a nice big bullish volume in that block right there. So just continue with this into the future. Again, I can find a supporting block right now with what's created right there. It's a beautiful supporting block. There was a little bit of a fake out down below here. We can continue with this green block going into the future. I know, guys, I'm talking fast, okay? And if you guys are probably, Ron has had a lot of coffee and going, it's just because the markets are open right now, you know, like that's why I trust that you guys already looked over today's news. I trust that you guys did today's earnings. I trust that you guys did your own analysis and are ready to go. So that's why I'm moving a little bit faster here. Okay, so we do have our all-time high supply. We do have, when we hit our all-time high, let's just recognize our all-time high. I'm just going to place an orange line up here just to recognize it. Someone is always playing around with my tools. Right over here. We're just going to make it a little thicker. There we go. Okay, so that's our all-time high. We got a bullish candle right now today. Okay, we've already placed our low. Are we above 50% of this big bullish candle over here on Wednesday? If we can just look at where 50% of it is, it's right there. And we've already retested it early last week on Thursday. So it's already came down here in that point of control, you know, grabbed all of that pending orders, grabbed that volume and continued to close. That's when we took out that all-time high. That's when we went up to that new all-time high. And since then, that was Friday. We opened this week, had a little spin top on Monday yesterday, and today we opened, you know, that bearish drop was the Home Depot earnings, but quickly got recovered. So there's our low of the day right there. And we've already came back up to our opening price. So this is where we basically closed yesterday and opened. That's our point of interest, close and open price, 44,910. And look at us, we're getting some strong bullish volume that is continuing to fill yesterday's high. So technically we have a new weekly high. I know it's early in the week, it's only Tuesday. We still have 3 more days to go, but technically speaking, we did just break for a new weekly high. And now we have the big all-time high wick to fill. But over here, this was a previous all-time high when we came up here on July 28th. So let's just place a point of interest at that high. 45,156, 160, I would say. So if we continue driving up there, maybe we'll find some resistance near this yellow line. However, if we continue to break out, then we're filling our all-time high wick. Okay, and we could possibly fill the entire thing and take out a new all-time high. However, if we go halfway from this yellow line to this orange line, maybe it comes up a little more, but the sellers are there offering right there, holding it down for a lower high and then pushing it down. So we also have to recognize this yellow line here around 45,215, just in case, and above the orange line, we can continue to do price discovery and figure out where it could go up there. But first, let's see, we got to get through this yellow line resistance. We got to get through this yellow line resistance. Then when we start approaching the orange line, we can start looking above us. We've already kind of pulled back today, so we are still holding good solid volume. Now, if we move into the 1 hour, you can see how we were, we pushed up. There was the all-time high, retraced down. We held good support. There was the big pending order that broke. You can see the hourly support that broke. That was 6 a.m. That was Home Depot's earnings today. You can see how we broke right through it. That created the low of the day, and it came right back up. And since then, we've been pushing real nice and bullish. 7 a.m. we closed near the high. We retraced down. We're still above 50% of the point of control. Continue to make a new higher high. We did open, pull back. We're still holding above 50% of that candle, and we did break out for a new higher high. We did close. Now we're opening 10 a.m. right now, and you can see how strong and bullish we still are. So we're getting to that first yellow line right there, and our next one is right up there, and then we're not too far off from the all-time high. So just let's put in the market, if we get back up to close to this orange line, a little bit above, a little bit below, let's just mark it red just to let us know that that is a significant resistance point. It is an all-time high. Will it come all the way up there and be like a double top, or will they break through with a new higher high? So US30 is really pushing right now. It is holding strong. If we get this hourly candle, right, it's 55 more minutes to go. If it closes above here, this red zone, we can technically make it green. So any pullbacks coming in down in here, it could be strengthening up this depth of market, and we could be looking for some pullbacks down in here. Where would be a nice healthy pullback to buy in? I would look more so, see where these hourly candles had some wicks and some resistance, like right around here. If we put that now, you can see we have volume closing above. I would just make that a small green zone right in here. So that would be a nice opportunity maybe to grab some pullbacks and buy with this market just below 45,000 right there. Okay, I'm going to place a white line alert in there just in case it does come back in here at some point today or tomorrow or whenever. I want to be ready for maybe a possible pullback buy just below 45,000. Okay, so we are pushing up rather nicely. That could be a double top up there. Strength wise, we are getting overbought on the hourly. We're at 70 on our side, but remember, we could come into an area of strength and get stronger and start squeezing short sellers up here. Okay, so if you want to sell, you're welcome to sell, but again, you're selling against strong resistance. You need to start seeing double or triple tops on your time frames. Okay, so if I move now down to the 5 minutes, here's the 5-minute outlook. There was the Home Depot earnings, 6 a.m. That's where it was that big bearish drop. Okay, it was those disappointing earnings, and then the market kind of came right back up. Then they had guidance, and then they were saying, I was listening to the conference call, and CEO was saying we anticipate maybe a future rate cut of 1/4 basis points, which might stimulate the building markets, the home markets, renovation markets, everything. So that's what maybe kind of got the markets continuing to rally up here. And let's just talk now candles and technicals. Since then, we've closed above this 5-minute resistance right over here. Sorry, I don't want to place a white line. I want to just go with this one right over here. Okay, so you see we've closed above that and closing above, it's now holding as support. We continue to make higher highs, higher lows, higher high, pull back right over here. Wall Street, okay, that was Wall Street's 9:30 5-minute candle. Lots of indecision, grabbed pending orders, but continued 9:35, 9:40. There was the pullback into, if we look now at the big body candle coming out of 9:40, if we look at this candle, if we can figure out where the point of control is, hopefully you guys did that, you could have possibly bought today's pullback and did really well. Today's pullback was right there. right in there. You see that? There's the point of control of the big body candle coming out of Wall Street. There wasn't a big body candle at 9:30. There was a good body at 9:35, but the big ignited push that closed above everything was the 9:40 candle, okay? And then you see that pull back right into there at 9:55 and 10 a.m. That new hourly continuation pushing. So if we do come back into here, maybe we could entertain maybe a possible double bottom buy. This is the first bottom, broke out. Maybe if it comes all the way back down here, maybe a second bottom. But remember, if this one can't hold up with more pressure coming down, our bigger order, we could get a better discount buy in this block, okay? So right now, this big body candle has 50%, okay? So you see now we're kind of closing above this red zone. So right over here, you could kind of go 50%. This would be more of a shallow pullback. Again, shallow pullback. This is a better opportunity to get a discount buy. There has already been discount buyers in there, but this will be the possibly out of all three of these, this is the best discount buy. You're getting deeper discount. You're getting a block that hasn't been tapped as of yet coming out of Wall Street. So maybe down there, but sometimes the market will not come down there. So you got to patiently wait. Okay. You can see we came right up to that yellow line now. Again, where did I get that yellow line? It was from our daily. And you can see it's holding as resistance right now, okay? So we can add our daily bar indicator beside us. We have our strong daily candle. We have our open. There was the drop. It was basically Home Depot, first 5 minutes that caused that big drop. But you see it made our low of the day. And since then, we've been pushing up, coming all the way back up to the opening price. And we had nice volume right now. Right now you can see it, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, a higher high, but right now it's kind of stopped at this daily position, which is now our highest point of the day. So I'm just going to change it to a purple line just to represent it's the highest point so far we're at. Okay, that was quick analysis, guys. Hopefully you guys kept up. We'll watch this just for a couple more moments, and then we'll do NASDAQ, and then we'll bring them both together. Okay, so let's just watch this for maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll do NASDAQ as well. Okay, so if you kind of look at the overall trend right now, okay, you can see we are, if I kind of keep it consistent with over here, you know, I'm keeping it consistent with the Home Depot body right there, came down, held up in here, continued to push, broke above here. We're still kind of in this parallel channel. We hit the top of it, pulled back. We just hit. So you see we're trading outside of the channel right now. Okay, we haven't came back into the channel. We're trading outside of it right now. Okay, so let's see if we can continue to hold good strong pressure. I will get rid of this red zone for now. I don't want it to confuse anybody, but this is what we're building right now. Okay, any questions? I know there's not a lot of viewers because we just kind of did this real quick. We got 80 of you guys on YouTube. Let's try and get it up to 100. Hit the likes, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to go for a couple hours here. And everyone on Zoom, I was watching what was going on in the Discord. Borix, thank you very much for helping the team and everyone in the Discord while, you know, we didn't have our live session. So that's great, guys. Thanks for doing that and helping each other out. It's amazing, guys, seeing that. And good morning, everyone. Welcome, everyone on Zoom. Good morning, guys. Conrad Bentz, welcome. Trevor, good morning. Thusme. Oh, Borix, you're on the call. Thank you for joining, Borix. Thank you for everything you do. Miguel, Samuel, welcome, guys. QH, Sarah, welcome. Welcome, guys. And everyone on YouTube, you guys as well. Welcome. Arun, Sanity, Harris, welcome. Scalper 420, I love the name. Thank you. That sums up me right there with that name. I'm a scalper and I love 420, so I love the name. Oh, Red Clues, welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome. Okay, guys. So you see, we're pulling back now into that big body candle that came out at 10 a.m. So let's see maybe if we can continue to hold this point of control. Maybe it could break, right? But then we are looking for a stronger position down in here, okay? So let's just see if it's holding. And we've already created one top on the 5 minutes. Okay, it's not a top on an hourly or 4 hour or daily. It's just a 5 minute top so far. So if we do come back in here, I'd like to just look at if it's going to be a double top, if it's going to be a new higher high, if it's going to be a fake out up there. And then maybe the volume will just continue to consolidate in this flag in this region right here. But if we're going to trade with the market, it's best that we continue with this bullish momentum. It is making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, maybe a possibly higher low here. If you're looking to short the market, you are counter trading the current market direction, okay? And there's rules when you counter trade. If it just fills maybe from, if you sell from here and it breaks down and maybe comes down to this, you know, I like to measure the zone. Like from here to there, maybe it's 50 pips. Okay, it could be a black candles, 1 or 2 candles that come down there, and you're up 20, 30, 40, 50 pips. But you got to understand, just right now, like how I'm showing you, we could be coming into a block where there could be buyers pending in there. So if we're selling into them, we need to do something. You can hold the trade and try and break that block. Absolutely, but I'm just showing you it's got to break these blocks. These sellers tried to break that block and they were unsuccessful, and you see it came up, either hit their stop, their break even, or their stop loss, or they're holding still in drawdown. So similar fashion here. If we break through this and it comes down, you go up 20, 30, 40, 50 pips. What I do is, if I'm counter trading, I want to protect my capital at all times because I'm not trading with the trend. So what I like to do is take my stop loss and go to a break even. Worst case scenario, it's a break even, but I don't lose any money. I'm okay with that. Second thing is, when it comes down and near this green box, I might be closing out a partial of my trade or a trailing stop loss. And I have an 80-20 rule myself personally, where I close out 80% and I leave 20% running. Okay, that's counter trading. However, if we're trading with the trend, we can continue to, if it closes above blocks, we can, when we flip them green and we move away from it, then we can start to move our trailing stop loss near that zone, and so we can get some protection there. Okay, so you see we're kind of just, again, consolidating in this range right here. Is anyone in a trade right now? Tito, welcome. Shout out to Stock Sniper Trading, watching from Philippines. Welcome. Thank you for joining us all the way from the Philippines. Beautiful out there. Alphonse, live from Kenya. Thank you, brother, for joining. Sarah, you're at NASDAQ long. Trevor, looking for a discount on Dow? Yeah. Okay, so while it's consolidating here, let's do NASDAQ. Let's get these two together. So we can get these two side by side. NASDAQ, guys, okay? So here was the big drop I just marked from 930. If you got 50% of it, kind of point of control, that candle, you see how it came in there, kind of broke right through it, but then got rejected all the way right back down and pushed down. But now it came right back in there, kind of closed with a little bit of volume above and continue pushing down. But it is making some higher lows, so maybe this block will be inverted and NASDAQ might take a bullish direction back up, okay? So what I'm going to do with NASDAQ is a quick top down, okay? Quick. On the daily, let's just get some quick levels here. So number one, we had this previous all-time high, double top right over here. If I bring it across into the future, we can see we closed above. So this block is now support below us. If it ever comes down to 22,000, maybe we can entertain a nice swing buy in there. We're nowhere near that. You can see the last pullback right here kind of held a point of interest and a higher low. So we got that. Oh man, someone's playing around with my toolbox over here. Okay, right over here is our yellow point of control. Do we have above us? Yeah, right here. You can see we're trading right at it right now, like right here. body to body, had that impulse break. There's resistance, push back down. We closed above it. You see how it pulled back into it, held its support. We came up for our new all-time high, and we're slowly 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, came right back down. Our low today is basically right near that yellow line. So this is where we do have some support holding in the market. Let's acknowledge where our all-time high is on NASDAQ, right up here. When did we hit it? It was last week, last Wednesday, we hit it, and since then we're pulling back maybe into a nice supporting area. Okay, so we've had a downtrend. Lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, a lower high yesterday, and a new lower low today. So you see we have like a 5-day downtrend. The overall market is bullish, making this big rally to that high. We had that 2-day pullback, but what happened? Held support, higher low, continue to go back up and close above this area. We took out that wick, we created a new all-time high, making a new higher high, and right now we're pulling back on a 5-day downtrend. It could hold, and then we get that next leg coming back up. However, if today's body of volume on NASDAQ closes below this area, that could trigger some further pushing down, okay? So let's just follow today's volume. So far, what do we got? Where did we close yesterday? We closed with a spin top yesterday, right over here. Okay, there was a lot of indecision in yesterday's body. And we opened. We did have a high so far placed in the market. We do have a high up here. Purple line, you can see it's lower than yesterday, and it's lower than all of these 4 days preceding us. So it is technically lower highs above us. The buyers are trying, but they're failing to get a new higher high from last week and from the all-time high. And they sellers pushed it right back down to the opening position. We took out those recent lows. So we got a new lower low, weekly low established in the market today. And you can see it's just right above this point here. So I'm just going to adjust this yellow line, and I'm going to bring it down, maybe right down to here, where we have this body and this body. Because if we trade still in here, there's still opportunity for buyers to buy it right back up and create a higher low. So far when we hit the lowest point of the day, you can see it's coming up right back up now. Do we have another interesting point? A point of interest would be yesterday's low right there. Okay, so yesterday's low, let's just make it yellow as a point of interest. And let's see if the buyers can get volume above yesterday's low. That would be about 23,650. If we can get above here, maybe we can start to push up today's bearish volume. However, if it still holds there, then sellers could still step in and continue to push down today's low and maybe possibly break to where? To the next low, Tuesday, August 12th. Let's just highlight that. Maybe we revisit this today if we have a bearish day, 23,500, okay? So if we're looking to kind of buy pullbacks, you know, when you got this big bullish move, now we're pulling back. It could trigger a next move coming back up, but we still have bearish volume following down with this move, okay? So if we are buying, we're kind of counter trading the last week, but you're buying with the overall higher time trend, okay? So some of us are intraday traders and scalpers, so this could be for higher time frame traders and swing traders and things like that, okay? So that's how we're moving on the daily. On the hourly, this is how it looks. Okay, we had a big move over here, come out of Tuesday, CPI. We made the all-time high Wednesday, 9 a.m. Wall Street. Since then, it's been making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high today. Our highest point of the day was 6 p.m. Eastern when the daily candle opened up, and we came right back up 5 a.m. So you can see there's London came back up, and then they started push down 6 a.m. There's 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. continue push down. So we just came up strong right now, just above that daily yellow line, and so far rejected back down. So let's see, you know, like our hourly. Let's place a white line right here where we closed at. This was Wall Street, came all the way down. We placed our low down there, came back up, it closed right here. This is where 10 a.m. this bullish hour just opened right here. So we'll keep an eye on this white line as well. This was where we had support on the hourly holding. Are we going to continue to hold this? Will it come back up? Will it build? Or are sellers going to flip this and continue dropping down today? Okay, so far it is building, you know, to come back up, but you can clearly see lower low, lower high. This is a new lower low It could come back up like it did, and that's a lower high, but we'll see if we can retain this volume that's left in this candle, which has 37 minutes to go, so lots of time. That's why then we follow it on the 5 minutes. So here's the 5 minutes. Here was that big drop at 9:30. So again, that's a big candle. Let's find the point of control of this candle. From the opening price of that 5 minute, 9:30 to 9:35, there's 50%. However, let's get that point of control zone. Okay, so 382 and the 618, kind of getting that entire zone and stretching it into the future. So now I can see what has happened so far. It dropped, came down, see right there, 940, came right in there, came right through there. It was bullish, but remember, this is a 5 minute candle. They rejected it and they closed it right at the low like a shooting star. Then the next candle continued breaking, and now you see the lowest point are tweezer bottom lows. They're held, and a nice big bullish engulfing candle came out of there, pulled back. We're holding control of this candle currently. 50% of that body is probably right around here. You can see how it's holding right there, okay? I'll make that green so we can see it right now. Okay, so that's holding our minor support just above the lowest point of the day. We'll see if the buyers can continue to hold that up. However, if the sellers break it, we could be coming down near the lowest point of the day. Maybe they break it for a new low, or it could be a higher low. So we got to be careful here. So right up there again, those buyers were strong. Look at, they transacted in that red point of control, and look at the sellers are protecting it, pushing it right back down. We traded right back in it, and they've rejected it back down. So you can see we've got a little bit of a dogfight now for this point of control from Wall Street. Okay, so what we got to do is maybe just watch and allow. Let's see who will accumulate more. We're in this kind of consolidated phase. Will the buyers bring it right back up here? Will we be able to flip this zone bullish and maybe push for this yellow line? Or are sellers going to continue to break this down and take out the lowest point of the day and continue to drop down to our yellow line down in here? Okay, let's add our daily bar indicator so we know exactly how the daily bar is moving. Remember, our opening price was initially bullish where we made our high of the day. We can go back and see it right there. There's where we opened up at 6 p.m. and that's where we hit the highest point of the day. Since then, we came all the way down. We've just made our low right now at 945, 950. We're building a little bit on our daily wick, but we still have this point of control that we are below, okay? So we can continue to watch this. We can add some indicators. There's the 9 EMA, we are below it, and our 200 EMA is all the way up here, okay? You can see when Wall Street market opened, it tapped right that purple 200 and dropped from there, okay? So let's keep these two side by side. NASDAQ is on the right. We'll watch this for a little bit, and US30 is on the left, okay? So we did pull back a little bit. We didn't trade into the green zone, you know, higher low, continuing to get up there, kind of closing at this area at the highest point. We'll see if it can continue to break out of here. We'll do gold in maybe another 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. Anush, we're trading right now. This is live analysis, live trading. We're not worried about thumbnail designers right now, okay? Stay focused, brother. Stay focused. We're here to learn about trading, not about thumbnail design. We don't give a shit about thumbnails right now. We're worried to see if the sellers are going to close below this green box or the buyers are going to close above here. Okay? No one here on this call is worried about a thumbnail designer. We don't care. We have new thumbnails with my majestic hair. It's good enough. Okay, so let's see here. Are we going to close above here? Is anyone still buying with Dow? Did anyone, catch that dip buy? If you didn't, I understand. But see how they're moving opposite direction? Okay, I get this asked a lot. Ron, is US30 the same as NASDAQ? These are not the same. Not the same. Okay, so we're getting that good push. Again, new higher high. Okay, so we broke above that previous daily high. New higher high. Bulls are strong on Dow. And you see NASDAQ is breaking down. Let's see if NASDAQ can close below this zone. We'll flip it red, maybe a retest, and continue coming down. But you got to be careful when you're selling at a lowest point of the day, okay? I measured these moves. I personally measure them. If it breaks down here and it comes down to the lowest point, you're up possibly 25 to 30 pips. But it could just come down there again or just above it, like you're up 20 pips, and it could reverse and come back up. So you have to be very careful down there. Okay, you see how it's dropping? It's going to close in 2 minutes. Okay, so what we got to watch for, is it going to take out the lowest point of the day? Is it going to be a higher low? Is it going to come back up? Is it going to close below here? This is what we got to watch for. These, and also Dow, we're impulsively breaking above the highest point of the day. It could get rejected and come all the way right back down. Okay, so this is, yeah, you see that rejection as I'm speaking? See how they just broke the low of the day? Now watch for the reaction. There's 90 seconds to go. So I'm sure it's going to trigger a lot of pending orders down there. There's going to be sell limits. There's going to be sell stops. There's going to be buy limits. There's going to be buy stops. There's going to be maybe possibly these buyers that bought that leg up, their stop losses are below there as well. That could get triggered. Same with US30. When we're breaking a highest point of day, we got FOMO buyers that want to get in, buying on impulse. We've got buy stops and buy limits up there, and we also have sellers up there. You know, like sometimes you want to sell the highest point of the day. You might have a sell limit, a sell stop up there as well. There's stop losses. There's a lot going on at these locations. Guys, let's hit the like button on YouTube. We got 122 viewers and only 39 likes. Let's hit the likes. This is Wall Street right now. Okay, because we're closing now in 5 seconds and we're going into 10:30. So take a look also at your 30-minute candle. Very bullish 30-minute candle. Very bearish candle on the 30 minutes on NASDAQ. So now we close below, okay? So this block now is red. If we come all the way up there, right now we're retesting the previous lowest point. It could be from support turned to resistance now. This zone right here, this zone where we had right over here, could be also a minor green supporting zone on just a slight pullback. Right here, there could be buyers waiting to catch that, okay? We could also maybe continue selling with NASDAQ down here. Where's about 50% of that big bearish candle? There was the opening. There was the close. Okay, 50% is right there in that block that I have right there. Okay, so we did get retested so far. Remember, it opened very bullish and retested. Now it could be a shooting star candle that could possibly continue to break down here. Okay, it's a shooting. I'm going to go in on a sell on that shooting star candle. I'm placing my stop loss above that hourly white line, and I'm going to look to sell it down to that yellow line. Okay, I'm going to see if it can come down. I'm in a short on NASDAQ. I want to continue to go with the lower lows, lower highs, new lower low, a retest. Let's see if it can maybe fill down to that yellow line or around there, okay? If it fills all the way to that yellow line, approximately 40 pip drop. But looking to create a new low, maybe possibly if it has to pull back, maybe into that block, place me in drawdown. But I want to see if maybe this volume can continue close down here. Maybe it can get a nice flush at the lowest point of the day at the new 10:30 candle right now. So I'm testing out a sell here on that 30-minute candle right now. Daily volume is right at that lowest point of the day. Can we continue to get that push down, or will it retrace back up into that block right there? And my stop loss is above that block, above that hourly white line. Okay, so now it's coming up for possible retest of that block. Let's see. You know, like 50% of that block is right there. So let's see if we can get some sellers right in here. It's retesting that block. Point of control, whatever you want to call it. Dow has not retested or came back down to any one of these green zones yet. Okay, so we initially got a retest. Not right at 50% inside, just right below it, but we did touch it, okay? So it did engage in there. You can see it hit pending orders. By the wick of the candle so far, it looks like it triggered a lot of sell offers, okay? But again, it's how the candle closes, okay? So it initially got those offers, came down, but you see when it came down, buyers are buying it right back up. So now it could come test a little higher inside that zone. Just like this opportunity here, where it broke out, came back down, and you see it came back in there, and it was transacting right in that red block. Then eventually they brought it right back down. So now it's testing 50% right in there. So I gotta wait 60 more seconds to go on this candle. And guys, pay attention to Dow too. It's hitting that next yellow daily point of interest right up there, that 45,215. We got 30 seconds to go into the close. Okay, so that's a good push by the sellers. They're there. You can see they're there. But still have good bullish volume in the candle. So where will it close now in the next 5 seconds? Will it close back below that purple line or just above that purple line? It closed above. So there could be buyers continuing to buy above that purple line. Sellers could not close it below. Technically, they did not close below. So if buyers bring it back up with a higher low, we're going to transact again in this red box. We have our 9 EMA slowly coming down, getting down into there. So if we do transact back in there, maybe the 9 EMA will catch up to us. Maybe that will be a little short-term resistance. And on Dow, this is where you could possibly get a push down, coming down to retrace back down to here, because now you're trading at a yellow daily point of interest right here. And if sellers can continue to close it below here, retest this, maybe we could possibly get that continuation push down. We've already transacted in that red zone now. Okay, I maybe jumped the gun. I got in a little early, as you can see, but the zone is playing out currently. So I just placed my stop loss above the zone. Now it's right back to where I entered. I'm back to break even now, but let's see if we can get this push come down. Maybe that was the pullback, but also can we create a new lower low, break below the wick? I don't want to just come down here and get a higher low or a tweezer bottom. I'd like to break for a new lower low and potentially maybe push with volume to close down into this location. So if you're learning about pullback trading, there was a pullback in the zone. If you want to learn about me getting in early and going in drawdown, you just learned about that. So learn how to be a little bit more patient and wait. So if you're waiting for a buy on Dow, again, it could come down to that green zone. It could come down to this one right here. Again, each one is stronger than the other zone. Remember, this one is a very strong zone. If you ask me what is the strongest buy zone, this one. If you ask me the second strongest one, this one. If you ask me the third strongest one, this one. If you ask me what is the least one, this one. Just so this could be a minor pullback and just continue, but it could break this one and come test this one, okay? So each successive block is stronger than the other one. Same with these sell blocks. This one was just a minor retest of that first candle. This sell zone is stronger up here, okay? So we did push lower high, right at 50% of the point of control of that candle. We did push down for that lower low where I did engage in the sell. Now we are pushing for that lower low. We got it, but can we follow with the volume? Can this bearish volume engulf those buyers and close it down here so that we can maybe get one more push down? Because if we don't close strong with this volume, then it could come back up with a wick and then we're going to barcode. I can see it happening. Bearish, bullish, bearish. If it comes back up, next candle will be bullish, trying to come back up here. So we really got to, force the buyers to think about their position. We got to continue to push down, squeeze them, right? So we can stop them out. Trevor, you got 40 pips on that and you're out? No, hey, that's good. It's good in my books. If you grab 20 pips and you're out, it's good in my books. Okay, so far, just measuring this from, it's about 15, 16 pips. Down to there is about 20. And then remember to the yellow line is 40, okay? We've got 90 seconds to go into the close on this. It was quick and you went with high lots. Hey, you're talking my language, Trevor. I understand that completely. I scalp 1 minute candles with a little higher lot sizing than most traders. And I understand the importance of 10, 15, 20 pips. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just make sure if you go up the 10 pips with higher lot sizing, Trev, you just bring it down to a break even. Worst case scenario is break even, and then that will take away, where you say it's scary and then start to emotionally help you, okay? And then the next thing is just quickly taking some partials out or a trailing stop loss. That's it. That's when you want to trade with high lots and quick pips. But you got to nail those entries with like minimal to zero drawdown. That's why, like right there, I just showed you, I went in a little earlier. Had I waited right there and nailed it, you could see we would be running significantly with minimal drawdown. But anyways, we're moving, okay? So let's just continue going with this. We're at 20 pips right now. You can definitely start to decrease your risk if you like, but it could, if you go to a break even right now, next candle could come and tag you out, okay? So I'm just being honest with everyone. Maybe we watch for this thing to close. Don't do what I'm doing. You do what you got to do. Here's the close, okay, in 5 seconds. Okay, so we're closing near the low, okay? So, but there's that ignited bullish open. So it wants to come back up to test. 50% of that breakout candle is basically where I entered the trade. So, if I quickly grab my Fibonacci tool just on that candle alone, 50% is kind of right where I entered. If I'm looking on a block on that candle, to continue with the block theory, okay, 382, 618, right here. We could be driving into that block. Will it continue to hold? Can we drive down with this momentum? But remember that ignited open. So open very bullish. Here it comes down, bearish engulfing candle again at that yellow line, guys. That's why I told you if you're going up on a buy, you gotta pay attention to these yellow lines. That's why if I'm in a sell, if it comes down to that yellow line, I'm paying attention to that yellow line down in here. Same with if you're buying, it's a point of interest on the daily. There's now the pullback into here. Will it hold here with a wick? Will it bounce off of this? Will the sellers close it below there? Then we got to flip that one. Maybe we'll walk down a little further down. All of these things, okay? So it did come down there. This is for buyers that if you wanted to FOMO buy the highest point up there, you're getting a significant discount to buy down here. Like if you measure it, your discount is 70 pip discount, okay? So you could buy this candle at 70 pips of a discount from buying up there, and if this candle flips loot, you're already up 20, 30, 40 pips, just coming right back up, okay? And it wants to, technically, if it comes back up, test 50% of that bearish body right there. Okay, so look, we already retested. See how open bullish ignited, came all the way up, Look at what it retested. Right in our red zone, that block of that candle got rejected. All we have to do now is flip the initial, right there, that flip. So you see how we caused the tail and a shooting star. So now if we can just continue to break that low, there we go. So you see how retests work, guys. They're working on every single candle. Like basically this 50% of that block right there, retest. 50% of that block, retest. And now we're driving down, okay? So that's about 30 pips down to there. That's when, if you like, you can reduce your risk. We already had the retest. You could do a trailing stop loss, whatever you like, guys. Crazy Matt, just stop by the stream and say hello. Love all that you teach and do. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Awesome. Guys, this is up 25 to 30 pips. You can, if you like, reduce your risk as much as you want. Like, it's just reducing risk down to there where we've already retested that block. You see my stop loss was up there at 615. I just reduced it to 590. That was just reducing my risk by 25 pips. I'm still can take a loss because I'm not at break even yet, but I've reduced it substantially. Okay, that's how you can limit your risk in trading. We have 2 more minutes to go on this. Okay, and remember, guys, if it comes down there to that yellow line, I'm going to do something down there, okay? And it could come down, maybe catch a wick and go back up. So I'm going to do something if it comes down there. Doing something, I mean break even and taking 50% out, 60% out, 80% out, whatever it is. Maybe I'm getting greedy again for an extra few pips. There it is, okay? So I'm taking out 80% there. It hit my target of 40 pips. I'm taking out 80%, and the 20% that I have left in it, I'm going break even. There we go, guys. Just selling with the momentum. I went in a little early. My mistake was a little early. Okay, that one inside bar had to come back up and retest, but you still see the retest, 50%. I placed my stop loss above it and continue to drive down with this, okay? So it's good education for everybody to learn. Sometimes you're going to get in a trade a little early, and it's good to understand where to place your stop loss, okay? Right? There we go. That's 60 pips down there, okay? I still am invested in this trade. I still have 20% running. That's still in a big investment for myself. But now we got to continue to follow. Next 30 seconds. Is this short 5-minute volume going to close below this daily yellow point of interest? Because this is support. With this volume closing below, this might be, again, turn into resistance for a quick pullback. But we got to close with that volume below there. See how we just came down? Now it's coming right back up. Where will this volume close? I'm already kind of looking at maybe where's 50% of this volume if we do. See, they're pulling it up. It's going to close above this yellow line. Next candle will move with this momentum. It will open up bullish ignited. Watch. Okay? Bullish ignited open. Now, if it has to retest, where's 50% of this body of the candle? Right there. Will it come all the way back up or a lower high and push down? But we have a bigger wick to fill now. Remember, this was a shorter wick. This is a bigger wick. And it's also at a point of interest on the daily. Right? So now this is a different algorithm we have going on down here, okay? And with US30, you see it closed right at the zone, open bearish ignited. So this zone did not hold up. Remember what I said, there's levels to these zones. This is the just most recent one. A stronger one would be this one. Stronger is this one. The strongest is this one. Trading upwards, that's a well-taken trade. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Guys, hit the likes on YouTube. There's only 115 viewers, but, you know, I'm sure that all of you guys can hit the like button. Got you into a quick little trade for about 50 pips easy. So hopefully with some education behind that, we'll get to gold in about 15-30 minutes, okay? Let's just continue to watch what's going on here. Okay, so now, see guys, there's that push down. You know, if you were counter trading, again, that's why I measure the move. Kind of if it fills to there, that's that additional 50 pips. But you see guys how everything happened at the yellow line. If you were in a buy, you should have done something at that yellow line in my opinion. Same here. See where we were in that sell? We should have done something at this yellow line, which I did. I went down to a break even and I took out 80% because you can see that's why these are important daily points of interest. There could be a pivot happening on the shorter time frames at these locations. If you don't do anything, then you need higher time frame volume to come in the market and complement your trade. Okay, so now we're retesting this. If it comes all the way back up to here, my 20% that I have in this trade will hit break even. I'll lose that 20% of profit, but I secured 80% as it was coming down to this yellow line. Hopefully I made that clear to everybody. Okay, so that was a proper fill all the way down on US30. If you're in a sell, that's a great sell, okay? If you were in a buy, you know, yes, you're watching, maybe learning that you gave a little bit of profit away. That's why I said you got to do something. Remember at the start of the call, 45,215, that yellow line. Okay, look at our retest here. What did we just retest? The red line. 50% dropping. Now we got a shooting star candle breaking. Holy shit. Okay, so that 20%, hopefully we can break a new low and drop. There we go, guys. That's 65 pips down there. Okay, do we have any, like I have a yellow to a yellow line down in here. What about this area right over here that I have no idea what's going on? Just look in between the yellow to yellow tape quickly. When was the last time 5 minutes traded in here? Do you see any structure right there? There's it came up, back down, came up, back down. That's kind of like a top right up here. Easy, guys. And there was where it was support right there, resistance, resistance, resistance. This red line at 485 could be our support if we come down. There we go. We just came down to it. See, I'm too slow at this. You got to be quick at this. You got to have everything defined. See, when we came down, we broke that low, and right there was my red line right there, 485. Okay, for a 65 pip move. Okay, if we're still staying with this, we broke for a new lower low. Okay, so that's a new lower low. Let's follow the volume. It's closing now. Now are we getting bearish volume closing below our yellow line? Yes. So our yellow line can now be resistance going forward. If we have to come back up, if buyers come back up, back up, back up, the yellow line could be the first line of resistance. However, we still have a resistance established in the market right here at 50% of this candle. Okay, so this is how maybe you can utilize a trailing stop loss to see if it will continue to come down. Okay, so you see now it's bullish. Where is it reacting? Right at that yellow line. Got rejected. Okay, so we rejected our early buyers right up there, lower high. Let's see if they can push back down. But we got to fill these long wicks down in here. Can we do it? Possibly. If it curls around, it might be a point where it's going to try and reverse. Look at, we're getting oversold. So some of you guys use this RSI indicator. We're in a sell now where the RSI is at 28. Okay, normally this is when a lot of buyers step in the market just because of RSI. But we're in an area where it's really, really oversold. So a real strong seller who's been accumulating can come in and just clear the board with like a big bearish candle coming through here. Because there's a lot of buying. A lot of buyers are putting their stop losses below here. So if a big seller sees that, they can come and liquidate all of those early buyers, right? They're just trying to buy a candle. There's no confirmed bottom. There's no confirmed double bottom. We just broke the daily point of interest. So a lot is going on this, okay? Let's see if we can continue to push down with this. But you can also reward yourself on the way down, right? Okay, that's approximately like 60 pip move. You can take some partials out. Don't wait for me to say, hey guys, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You guys, I trust that you guys know how to do this and you guys do what's best for you. Okay? Don't wait for me. I'm here educating. Okay, so you see this one didn't hold. This one held, but still pushing down. Maybe it's got to come a little bit deeper, you know, like this was at 50%, kind of pulled back, but look like this block down here. That's why I have my alert at that white line. This is the best buying area. I told you, this is the biggest block, the strongest block. It hasn't been mitigated yet, right? This one's already been transacted early, right at Wall Street. It pulled, and then it pulled back, and then that's where we had. If it comes all the way down in here, that's why I have an alert. I want to buy in this green zone. See now, guys, hopefully it makes sense. If you buy this one, it's just kind of like a shallow pullback and you go and draw down. This one would have been the second best one, but you still see it kind of broke. What if the volume comes back up and closes above? Yeah, then maybe we can buy that back up to here. This is a good one as well, because it's wide, because it's got a yellow line in here. Notice how this doesn't have anything in there. This doesn't have anything. This block has a yellow line, so it's a daily point of interest if it gets down here. This is a bigger one straight out of Wall Street. There was Wall Street's move, 930, and then we closed above. But you see how we moved off of it? We haven't really retested or came back into this as of yet. Okay. Okay, so it came back up. That's still technically lower high, lower high. We've got to kind of just, we got some buyers interested. We are oversold. Okay, so there's going to be buyers, right? Just like here, this was overbought on US30, so there's going to be sellers. But look how it came all the way down. It's got a wick coming back up. Are they going to flip this candle back in that green zone and maybe have next leg coming back up? So just if you kind of maybe go back in a buy, and from the green zone up to the red zone, you could go up 50 to 60 pips, coming right back up. Look at the hammer candle now, closing in 45 seconds. Okay, so let's just pay attention to where this body closes and how it closes. We see it came down. That was a big, significant pullback. But maybe they want to create a strong depth of market coming back up. Maybe it might hold in here. Might get that next bullish move coming right back up just to fill to that red box. It could be a buy coming back up for about 50, 60 pips up there. Guys, we're looking maybe for a gold buy at 3325, 3330 area. And the sell on Ethereum moving for 100 points below 4,290 on Ethereum. So cryptos are selling off right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum. We had that nice sell on NASDAQ. Okay, so we were looking for sells below 23,725 and 700. See when it pushed down, came back up. These are static areas. You know, you can trade off of these all day. Okay, so congratulations to those snipers that took the signals, guys. We got a little bit of a bullish kind of move right here on gold, or sorry, US30. So you see how it closed as a hammer. It came. It's transacting inside here. This could be maybe a pullback that comes right back up. Okay, let's see here. Maybe if it continues to build, I might be looking to take a buy here. And you see that NASDAQ is rotating back up to test here, okay? If it cannot hold here, it already held there, but now it's probably got stronger buyers that can break through this and come to this block above. That is my 20% runner. If it comes all the way up there, it'll be a break even. I failed to do anything down there because I'm looking for a bigger move. And sometimes when we do that in trading, it'll come back and bite us, okay? I'm going to go into a buy on US30 right here just to see if we can fill back up maybe to the red zone. I liked how it came down, down, down. I would have liked it if it transacted into this zone, because then it might need to pull back into there. It closed as a hammer. We opened. It was kind of consolidating. So when the candle flipped blue, that's where I got bought in. I'm looking to just fill back up, some imbalance. Buying again with the market trend, higher highs, higher lows, higher low, higher high, pulling all the way back down. Maybe this is gonna become a new higher low and continue to come right back up. So I'm in a buy, testing out on US30 to come back into the red zone for about 40 to maybe 50 pips back in there. Okay, and we'll see if I can continue to hold my sell on NASDAQ without getting stopped out on the 20% runner. We'll get to gold in just a little bit. We're not even 11 a.m. yet. 2.5 more minutes, 3 more minutes to go, then we'll hit 11 a.m. Okay, so again, we're trading in that red zone. They pushed it back down, but we gotta follow with the volume. The bearish volume has to close back below that yellow line, and maybe we can continue pushing down. Okay, I would hope, I would love that if we can continue pushing down with NASDAQ there. Okay, and my stop loss for this Dow, sorry, just adjusted, will be just below that green zone and that trend line. Okay, so I'm just trading from the zones. We've got NASDAQ really pushing down, going into the close, maybe 11 a.m., maybe produce a new lower low. What TP am I aiming for with NASDAQ? If we can take out this red line, somewhere trade it down there, maybe for about 75 pips, something like that. I'll take my partials and get out of that. You know, if we can break that red line. We have a minute 20 to go into 11 a.m. Okay, guys, I'm watching that red line too down there. There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna take my profit out of NASDAQ because those will help for probably this loss on US30, negate those. So I'm gonna close out my trade on NASDAQ. It's going into 11 a.m. I'm happy with that. Came down 75 pips. So I'm going to close out the entire trade on NASDAQ, the remaining 20%. So I'm out of that. I'm out of the NASDAQ trade completely, guys. Just full transparency, full heads up. In this US30 buy in drawdown, I want to see maybe if it can respect this green block going into 11 a.m. It's in drawdown right now. And I'll verbally let you guys know as soon as I get stopped out here on US30. It's very, very close to, I'm getting stopped out, very close. Okay, but this is 11 a.m. Okay, I just got stopped out of it, okay? It's got a lot of bearish pressure pushing down. Cannot hold these blocks, so possibly the bigger block. Okay, so you see, guys, you know, that came down, it closed as a hammer, I bought in the green zone, and the market took me out. Okay, so you got to understand that it's not just targeting blocks and think that you're going to become successful every day doing this. I had one trader in the Discord yesterday when I took an impulse buy. I was saying it was going to be a positional trade. That was position 1. Then I waited for the body to close. I actually got a retest exactly where I wanted, and it broke out. That was my second position, and then it came back down and hit my stop loss. So even if you are waiting, you're waiting patiently, disciplined for volume to close, you get a proper retest. If you think you're going to be 100% successful by just waiting patiently and waiting for your break and retest, it's not how trading works, guys. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Everyone thinks just because if I wait all day and I'm patient and I'm disciplined and I don't take impulse trades and I wait for everything, if that's how you think the markets work, you got a lot to learn. Okay, because it doesn't always work like that. I take a little bit more trades on these calls because it is live. I want to help educate you guys as well. Otherwise, you know, we can sit here and we can look for the best opportunity in a 2-hour call, but sometimes there might not be nothing present itself, and then everyone's going to say, Ron, why are you not in a trade? Why are you not taking a trade? This and that. So I'm not to say that it's different when I trade when it's live, but it's how the cookie crumbles. Okay, I just want to make it clear like that. Trading is not 100% guaranteed. If there is someone that can trade 100% always, every single day, not just on select days, Monday to Friday, come and show us how you do it. I'll be your first subscriber to watch you how you're a 100% trader all the time. Because I know there's nobody on this planet that can sustain that. There's nobody. I've seen professional traders on the Toronto Stock Exchange floor. I've seen professional traders on Wall Street. I've witnessed professional traders. They can't even sustain 100% accuracy in trading. And they manipulate the markets and they move the markets and they still can't even do that. Okay, but guys, see, sometimes when I get stopped out, I lose focus here. So it came right into that deep zone. I got my alert there. That was, again, the strongest out of all of these blocks. Block 1, 2, block 3, block 4. This is the best block to buy in the market today. Why? Because this was 9:30. This was Wall Street. Okay. And then when we moved away from it, we have not transacted back into this zone. So you see right there how it came all the way down. All of those patient buyers were waiting there. Who's to say? Nobody probably on this call thought it was going to come all the way down there for a 240 pip drop in there. Maybe you guys had it, okay? I thought maybe that block was going to hold, okay? I was wrong. There was more sellers in the market that dropped it all the way down, okay? But I didn't keep my stop loss all the way down there and take a significant loss. I just put it right below the next block. That's it. I measured it. I knew it was 50 pips. I knew how to allocate a certain amount of risk to that. I made some money with NASDAQ, so I allocated a little bit of profit from NASDAQ onto this trade. I still gave some back, but I'm still up for the day. That's how you do account management. You don't just trade with one size all day, unless you're accurate with that. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I don't do that. If I take this first trade and I make a good profit off of it and my runner hits, then when I allocate to my next trade, I maybe allocate a little less because I want to retain some profit for the day. I don't want to just take this trade and go double down and put it over here and lose it, right? I used to do that. And I found that I was trading throughout the day and I was winning, I was losing, I was winning, losing, and I wasn't really making any money throughout the day. And I was spending 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on the charts. So now I learned over the years how to allocate a little bit, how to utilize risk on different trades. More high probable setups, I put more sizing. So if I was waiting for that pullback down there, I probably would have put a larger size because that's a larger probability that you get in there. That one that I used right there, I knew I was just trading on an inside block. I'm not going to go in heavy on that one. Heavy is the bigger blocks, guys. I went a little lighter on that one because it still has a potential to continue dropping down. Trevor, you took a sell on the second block? Yeah, nice stuff. Okay, guys, so we'll stick around for another 30 more minutes. What I'll do is gold real quickly because gold is making some significant moves. Let's do gold. Dave is going to come back for a power hour session today around, I think, just before 3 p.m. to go to 4. Okay, so just on gold on the daily, quick top down. Okay, so gold, just quickly, we know all-time high 3,500 right up there. Since the all-time high, our range came back down to here to 3,120. We've been measuring this block in the markets since April. Okay, you can go back and watch our videos. I've been talking about this demand zone, which created that bullish flag. Since it was created back in April, you can go back and watch the videos or just tune in every single day. I talk about this block every single day. I'm not going to have the time to break this thing down right now. That's why I want you guys to learn this type of stuff. Join us daily so we can go and do multiple charts. We can do gold. We can do NASDAQ. We can do US30. We can do S&P. We can do crude oil. We can do GBP USD. We can do more things. All I need is like 3 minutes to look at a chart, but I need you guys to understand what I'm doing. then it will make a little bit more sense for you guys, okay? Remember this big bullish candle? You guys should know this candle. It should be automatic. Friday, August 1st, you should know that that's NFP. There was a significant bullish move on gold on NFP. Can we figure out where 50% of it is? Yes. Are we above or below it right now? Was this bullish green zone? Yes. Now let's trade. We can see we traded into it, back up. We traded into it and we moved back up. We traded into it again yesterday and it closed inside of it. Today you can see gold was bullish, lower highs, pushing down. We got a shooting star on the daily candle, which could completely break this zone and start dropping down a little further down. Where could it drop down to? Well, you got to get some points of interest on your daily. Right over here. See there was a pivot in the market right there at 3,300, exactly where the market came down and stopped right there. Yes, it did break down. It did create the range low, but it closed right there. Next day, it did create that lower low, but look at where it closed, back above there, okay? So 3,300. 3,300 also is splitting this bearish candle on July 30th in half right there, okay? So if we break this zone and we lose this, gold could be coming down to 3,300. If it can't hold there, then 32.75. Can't hold there, 32.45. Then a big green block down there, okay? So this block is still green until today's daily candle officially closes. Will it close inside here? Will it close below here? Will it just catch a wick and reverse back up and close bullish above here? Then maybe we'll get a strong move coming up the rest of the week, okay? But right now, it's bearish. Let's follow today's daily candle. Where did we close yesterday? Where did we open? Right here, okay? 3332. It was initially bullish where we came up. We made our highest point of the day right there. That's our purple line. I look at it, my purple line relative to the previous day. It's lower. So you see it is pushing down. Lower highs, pushing down. Okay, we got that shooting star candle coming down now. So sellers absorbed all those initial buyers today, brought it all the way back down to the opening price, broke it. We took out yesterday's low, and we just created a new low. So just think about this as if it's like a 5-minute candle. When it breaks, there could be buyers buying it back up. But this is not a 5-minute candle. This is a daily candle. So this body of volume holds a lot more weight. So those daily buyers, even if it pulls back, could continue to, those sellers could be there, absorb those buyers and continue break this and drop it lower, okay? So if you ask me, the last few weeks on gold are bearish, but someone will say, Ron, overall, it's still bullish. Yes, you are correct. If we're talking from back in May, if we're talking back in June, if we're talking back in July, you are correct. It is making higher lows. But today, it is a bearish pin bar candle, and it's coming off of lower highs and lower lows. So we're in a technical weekly downtrend, but overall on the monthly, you are correct. It is in an uptrend, okay? It's all, however, your time frame is when you're trading. Okay, so I'm going to break this now from the daily into the hourly. Let's see how it's moving on the hourly. Okay, so the hourly, we have a drop. It broke this, lower low. It came back up. What is this? This is a lower high from all of this area over here. And then this was the most recent low. Look at, we are breaking it right now. We just took that out. We made a new lower low now. So if you ask me, the last few hours, when did we hit the highest point of the day? It was 6 a.m., 7 a.m., there's COMEX, 8 a.m. Here's Wall Street, lower highs, lower lows. Here's 10 a.m. It came up, lower high. That bearish volume, look, created the lowest point of the day and closed below that wick and that wick. So if you're looking for like an hourly resistance, you can literally see it right now on the hourly. Right over here. Right there was support. It was support on that wick as well. It was support right there at 9 a.m. Now we've got volume that closed below. If you flip that zone red, you can see we've already retested this. The volume closed below. Look at it, it came up bullish right into that red zone, and now we're pushing back down. So it is still technically bearish. If we get above this, if it comes down, maybe builds and gets above this and closes, you flip that green, might be building support to come back where? To this yellow line. Maybe to the top of that. If it goes any higher, how high? Measure like 50% of that bearish candle. Maybe measure points of interest, things like that. That's if it starts to reverse. But right now, it's still technically bearish. but it's holding at the lowest point of the day. So maybe it needs to accumulate here. Maybe next hour it will come back up, close above here, get that, or it will just continue breaking down. Okay, so on the 5 minutes on gold, see how it was trading sideways, then they started to break it out, 540, 545, 6 a.m. push, created the highest point of the day, 620, double top, came back. There's the M pattern. You could have sold that leg coming down. I know it's easy after the fact when we can see it, but you know, you should be at least drawing a support line right there. There was the candle that closed, and it's a shooting star candle. It opened, came back up. Look at where it closed below. Anywhere here, if this is me, you guys probably know the way how I trade. I'm selling right here. I'm placing my stop loss maybe 50% of that candle or just above these highs, and I'm getting that. I probably, you guys know the way how I trade, I probably would have been out on that bearish candle. But if you're sticking with the move, it came back up. It's still below there. You could continue coming back up. You figure your zones right in there. Guys, how can you not figure out these zones? Look at, they're staring right at you. This was resistance. If you can't tell me that that's resistance, I don't know how else to explain this to you. It came in, went back down, came in, went back down, came in, went back down, came in 3 more times, went back down, came in more times, and then it closed above. So that zone now is green. Stretch it into the future. We closed right below it again. You go red, right? You see the impulse, continue push down. This same zone, look, right there, caught that wick and pushing down. Are we at this zone yet? No, it's still pushing down. Look at the 5-minute candles, drop, coming right back into there, dropping. Now they're building a little bit, okay? So it could build for one bottom. There's the neckline. Here we have like kind of a second bottom. Maybe we'll push right back through there, maybe close above, and maybe we'll get a little bit of a bullish push back up. But it could come up here and continue dropping right back down, because you still see we're selling. That could be a nice bullish move, but it's still lower high, lower high, lower high, highest point of the day, right? So if you're looking at gold, you know, I would be watching. It's accumulating now. You can box this whole area in. If you don't feel comfortable trading this area, box it in. Just go neutral and watch who accumulates more. Just stay on the sidelines. It comes down bearish, goes up bullish. Comes down bearish. We've got spin top candles. Sellers could continue to close it below here, maybe retest this and continue to drop it down. Buyers could continue to accumulate in this zone, you know, could just trade in here. If you want to scalp this zone, I would measure it from the lowest point to the highest point. 320, what is it? 325 to 320, 50 pip zone. If you're going to buy, you might get 20, 30, 40, 50 pips. If you go into a sell, you might get 20, 30, 40, 50 pips coming down. Okay, that's if it just continues to consolidate. I don't think it's just going to trade in this zone all day today. It might attempt to break out of here and come back up there. Okay, so that's kind of your direction on gold. But I would basically continue to trade with the overall markets as best as you can. There was that lower low. It pulled back, lower high. There's your new lower low. So even if it comes up here, it could go back down. Even if it comes up there to that yellow line, like this bullish breakout, you scalp it up there, you measure the move, because it could technically come right back up there, somewhere here, lower high, and then they drop it right back down, okay? That's how gold is looking right now. Let me just get rid of all these arrows. Okay, and we'll watch. And then also watch for fake outs too, when you're there, okay? Sometimes you're going to get faked out of the markets. If you think you're not going to get faked out of the markets, even if you do wait for a body that closes and retests, okay, just like this. If the bearish candle closes below here and it pulls back, and when you sell there, the retest and it comes down, yes, it could just come down a few more pips, but you're in it, and then come right back up. And then you're going to say to me, Ron, I got stopped out. How did I get stopped out? I did everything you said. I waited for a bearish candle to close, check mark. I waited for a retest of this, check mark. I got into the sell. I placed my stop loss above the zone. It came down, but then it reversed right back up. I'm going to say to you, welcome to the world of trading. If this was a guaranteed move, I would put my name against this and say this is 100% guaranteed. This is how you trade every single day. Trading is not guaranteed. Nothing in life is guaranteed. You still got to understand that that's got a higher probability of taking that setup than just taking an impulse candle on a whim, right? That's the only difference. But someone under the Discord yesterday thought when I waited for that candle to close and got the retest, he was surprised how I got stopped out, because nothing is guaranteed. But that has a higher probability from me just trading on impulse candles every single day. So it's a way of cleaning up your probabilities, okay? And it's going to take some trial and error, okay? You're going to see fake outs. You might see it come down and get a wick and go back up. Sometimes when I see that, I tell you guys, I don't like the setup. I know I'm in a sell, but I'll say, guys, I don't like the setup. I want to exit the trade. I don't like the way how it's looking. And just get out of it and continue with the move of the markets, okay? That's trading, guys. If you don't understand that, then you got to continue. You got some learning to do. I'm saying that with respect. Like here, when I took that buy on that candle, the way how it didn't kind of break and it was coming down, I personally did not need to leave that to come down and hit my stop loss. I saw right there, it didn't break right there. When it came all the way down, it closed as a bullish pin bar, as a hammer. It opened. It was strong. No wick. No real pop. I love those trades where it pops the wick and goes. This one didn't have it. When it was coming down there, I could have just closed out this trade and saved myself a few more pips. But I didn't in that situation. That's what I'm trying to admit to you guys. I didn't. But I could have. And you could have too. If you don't need to let trades come all the way down and hit your stop loss. You don't. Okay, unless you set it and forget it. But when I'm speaking myself personally, as a scalper on 1 minute, sometimes I don't have the luxury to sit and wait for it to come down to my stop loss. I take a trade and I look for quick profit. If it doesn't do what I want it to do right away and it starts going against me, I close it out without even letting it come to my stop loss. I'll do that, guys. I really want to do a 1 minute scalping session with you guys and just show you guys 1 minute how you make quick decisions quickly. I know some of you guys are going to enjoy it, some of you guys are going to hate it, but I'm thinking for you guys to learn how to learn fast. Okay, 5 minute candles are nice, but when I'm trading 5 minute candles, I'll open up my stop loss a little more and let it room to breathe. When you're trading with 1 minute candles, sometimes you don't have any room to breathe. You got to go in and make a quick decision. Okay, I'll do those when I think that you guys are comfortable to learn that. Because it's not easy to do when people don't understand what I'm doing, and then it's just confusing, and it confuses me and it confuses you guys. Okay, so did we close below that zone? Yes. Okay, so what I do when I'm trading all day is I just follow the volume. These are still static zones in the market. Now we just caught an accumulation phase right now, where we're in this block in the market right now where Dow is accumulating. We got buyers buying, we can see by the wicks, we got sellers selling. Okay, is Dow going to trade inside here all day? We see how it was accumulating prior to Wall Street, and then buyers won that breakout, and quickly sellers sold it right back in. So look at where we are. We're right back into where we were consolidating earlier to Wall Street. So it's like Wall Street just opened, had that breakout, and then came right back in. So we're right back where we were trading. So a lot of traders look at this as like a left shoulder. We're right back in the right shoulder. That's got to be the head. That could be a head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder consolidation. We broke out during Wall Street, which created that right there to that yellow line. And it came all the way right back down. Look at where we're trading. Right back where it started. Head and shoulder patterns have a high probability of continuing to do moving down. Doing this, okay? I just said it's got a high probability of doing that just by recognizing patterns. But is it always going to do that? No. I've seen head and shoulder patterns where they were supposed to come down in here, and then they go right back up and do this. Okay, I've seen that too. And then someone's going to say to me, well, Ron, I thought all head and shoulder patterns they show on Google, when you go to image, it shows arrows doing this, this, and that. I'm like, yes, that's technical definition, but when you're trading, that doesn't always happen. If I could tell you guys, if you trade a head and shoulder pattern and on the second shoulder, the right shoulder, it's always going to sell off, and that was a guaranteed move, I would be a multi-billionaire if that was the case, okay? It doesn't always work like that, okay? You got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to understand the probability of it breaking down is on your favor, but it doesn't always happen. I wouldn't go betting my entire farm on that move, okay? So you got to understand that sometimes that's the direction that it shows the pattern, but it doesn't always happen. Markets manipulate these moves, okay? They want you to think that it comes down, you sell, and then they're buying it right back up to grab liquidity, okay? So that's why when I say it's better to wait for a body to close as opposed to just taking an impulse candle. But even if you wait for this body to close below there and you flip this zone red and like here, it closes below, for example, okay, check mark, the body closed below. It's not an impulse, it did close below. You wait for the retest. Now it opens bullish and it comes right back into here. You flip the zone red, it gets rejected and you take the sell right there. And then it pushes down and then it doesn't break that low. And then it's a double bottom coming back up, but you're in that sell now. And then you say to me, well, Ron, I waited for the body to candle close below. I say, great, good job. And then you say, Ron, I made the green box red because it closed below. I'm going to say, perfect. And then you're going to say, I sold the retest right at that zone and I went down and I put my stop loss above. I'm going to say, amazing. And then you're going to say to me, well, Ron, it came back and it hit my stop loss. And I'm going to say, I understand. That's how trading works like that. I understand that. It happens to me all the time. Just because you waited for a body to close, you got the retest, and you sold, that doesn't mean that you're going to make a paycheck every single day. Okay? So I don't know why I'm still talking about this with some traders. Like, you got to understand that there's going to be days where this setup doesn't work. Then there's going to be days where it works 75-80% of the time, okay? So you got to take it. I take trading candle by candle, not just look for a pattern and just close my eyes and trade that pattern. Okay, with gold now. So you see gold is breaking above here. We got 5 more minutes to go into 11:30. So you see it came down, back up. Came down, back up, came down, back up, came down. Okay, so let me just get rid of this green zone above us. And let me just place a minor green zone down here just to get you guys looking down in here. At the lowest point of the day on these 5-minute candles, if I draw a green zone right there and I stretch it into the future, you see we came into it, big bullish engulfing candle, continued to drive up to that red zone, sellers brought it right back down. We got a wick touching the green zone, back up. Came down, wick touching the green zone, spin top candle. Wick touching the green zone, we got another spin top candle. Come back down, higher low, higher low, higher low, close above those wicks. Now we're getting closer to this red zone going into 11:30. Are we going to close with some blue volume above this zone? Let's watch for it. Or are the sellers going to continue to push this leg back down? If they push it back down, you see this body of this candle, I want to see, will it hold point of control of that volume? Will it continue to hold this? If it doesn't hold this, then sellers will technically bring it back down into the green zone, okay? So we got to see. If it pulls back, will we hold this? Will the buyers maybe break it out of here and start to close it above this red zone and close a candle? Then we'll go through the motions of making it red to green, maybe look for a pullback, and see what happens there, okay? So this is developing right now off the lowest point of the day. These are 5-minute candles, okay? So they're not higher time frame candles. These are just your lower time frame candles. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sorry, I'm not in this NASDAQ sell anymore, so I'm just going to take that off. I don't want to confuse you guys. Oh, watch this gold going into the close. Okay, so I'm watching this body to close. I'm also watching will it because in order to continue to move up, we got to push for new higher highs, right? I want to see will it continue to get above this 11 a.m. high right there where it opened. It was initially bullish, but since then it pushed it back down. We've been building a little bit off the lowest point of the day, where it's making a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, but we got to see can it break above these, okay? So we got about 2 more minutes to go. Then we're heading into 11:30. So you can take also a look at your 30-minute candle. Look at the 30-minute candle. We had that big significant drop at 10:30. Close below. We had it come all the way down, this 30-minute candle, which is going to close in 2 minutes. And look at it now. It's like a bullish pin bar hammer candle. So it could close right near the high. The next 30-minute candle could start bullish off of this momentum and continue to drive, but we're driving into a big bearish body. Where's about 50% of that body right up there? So again, if we're driving into there, we could be driving into 50% of that body. If you grab your Fibonacci tool to look where that point of control of that 30-minute candle is, it's right there. There's 50% right there, okay? So that's what we got to watch for. It could close right here and then pull back again and maybe pick a higher low and break out of here, okay? That could be if you're an impulse trader on a 30-minute candle. I'm not on a 30-minute candle trader. I trade the 5 minutes. So I'm looking for volume to close above here. Okay, so look at that. Look at that. That was a nice big bullish candle, came in there, and they rejected it back down with 1 minute to go, okay? So we're seeing the rejection of those buyers that just bought in, and look at it push back down. So I'd like to see, can we retain this point of control of this candle? It's a big shooting star candle coming down now. Maybe we continue selling down with gold, okay? That's another thing. Doesn't always have to be buys. We can see it's pushing down, sold off. That was maybe a little bit of a pullback up to there, and that's it. And now they're ready to continue to push it down. Maybe push gold down and take out the lowest point of the day and continue dropping down, okay? So you don't always have to just buy. I was saying we can maybe entertain a buy if it closes above here. I see a big rejection coming down. Here's the close. Here we go into now 11:30. So it opened bullish. Okay, will it come up to retest this red zone or just 50% of that bearish candle? It's an ignited open, so it is pushing strong all the way back up. Let's see if it will come all the way back into the red zone. Will it get a lower high and they push it back down? Will it maybe come all the way back up and close above here? Okay, we're still kind of consolidating in the top half of this. Okay, like when I say the top half consolidation, like right in here. You see how it's kind of barcoding right at this point? Okay, so buyers and sellers are accumulating this zone right here. If you want to draw yourself a little trend line to help you out here, okay, what is kind of ascending trend coming up so far? Okay, so that looks like a big, strong opening candle right off of that big shooting star that closed right at the lowest point. It didn't even open bearish and drop a little bit. It's bullish ignited, coming all the way up. But remember what I said. We've got to create some new highs. Okay, so can it get above that previous wick? Is this going to be a lower high? Our seller's going to be there offering to all of these buyers and bring them down. Okay, let's take a look at US30 and NASDAQ. It's building a little bit. Like I like the way how it's building at this block, but it's still in an accumulation phase. So what I do is I let it build. If it builds up, I want to continue to buy up with that move. Okay, so what I do is at that yellow line over here, I place an alert. I don't always have to be sitting at my computer all day. I can move away from my computer. If it comes up there, I'll get an alert. I can watch it on my mobile. If I get the closing price above there, a retest, you know, what we talked about, it could be building. This could be a bottom where it came down, created the bottom, coming back up. Maybe, again, it has to pull back down. The second bottom could be the more powerful move, okay? But again, it could just come up, go back down, and then we go with that head and shoulder pattern, what we talked about. Okay, look at gold building back up. It's going to close in 2.5 minutes This is kind of those symmetrical triangles that we're in. If you look at kind of like from how it's in this little formation where it came down, the volume is still inside here. So could it kind of close above here, maybe retest this and break out? Possibly, but it could also continue to go back down, okay? It could come right through here, maybe a false breakout, and then sellers push it back down, and then we're dropping back down, okay? So, you know, a few things can happen, but what I do is just wait for this body to close to give us the full confirmation. Remember, it opened very strong at 11:30. Bullish, 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 bullish. Got right back in that red box. It didn't get above that previous wick, so it is technically a lower high at the red zone. And now sellers are stepping in, but we still have this bullish body still left on this. Guys, there's only 150 viewers on today's call, so I wanted to stay longer, but we don't have a lot of people on here, okay? So that's what we want to do, to continue to get these streams going. Help like the stream. That will engage YouTube, change the algorithm, get more visitors on here, and then keep us on these calls a little longer. I know we switched up the time today. I had a doctor's appointment early in the morning, but tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll continue the same times, 7 a.m. Eastern. We'll watch COMEX. We'll watch Wall Street Market Open. Dave will be back for Power Hour today, and Wednesday, Thursday, post New York. We did a blog on the Jackson Hole Symposium or conference, whatever you want to call it. It's a 3-day event held every year in the month of August. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event held in Wyoming in United States. And I'll read the blog at the end of the call, but it is basically Jerome Powell and a lot of financial bigwigs from around the world that come to this conference, and they talk monetary policy for the entire world. So it's got a red folder. It is high impact. Then they talk to the press later, and then can be released what they say in it. But it is basically like a closed conference. But the press does get a little bit of inside scoop of what's going on in there. So again, think about the days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I don't know what will be said in there. I have no idea. But just trade careful, because it's held once a year, and it's a 3-day event. Okay, so we closed inside that red zone. So this could be a possible impulse breakout, right? And you got to have rules if you want to trade impulse candles, okay? Maybe it fills that wick and impulsively breaks out to about 50% of this bearish candle, maybe to that point of interest. You could be up 20, 25 pips on an impulse break, comes in there, engages in sellers, and it pushes right back down, okay? So that's the effects of taking an impulse trade, okay? And again, I say, if you don't want to take it, then you got to wait for this full body candle to close in the next 4 minutes. Yes, sometimes you wait and it will close with volume above, like I did yesterday. And then sometimes it will pull back in, and it's a perfect entry, and you take the buy, and you're already thinking which color car is going to be your Lamborghini, a red or a yellow one, and you get into that trade, and it comes up, and you're already putting a deposit on that car, and then it comes up there, and then it comes all the way right back down. Okay? Yes, it does happen. Sometimes also, if you wait for the body to close, you take it, it comes up just a little bit, then gets rejected and goes back down. And then you guys are going to say, well, Ron told me to wait for that candle to close and buy that retest. Why am I not ordering my Lamborghini? Because I'm going to tell you that that's not how trading always works. If it does, I would have 10 Lamborghinis on my driveway, all different colors. It doesn't work like that, okay? But when you ask me what's better, is it better to take an impulse candle or a confirmed with a retest? All day, every day, I will say 100% of the time, it's better to wait for a confirmed candle with a retest. At least it gives you more information. Now we can have a conversation. I can at least say, well, the buyers did close it above resistance. And then I can say it also came back into the point of control where the buyers are, and they're buying it on discount with confirmation. So you're buying with more buyers. You're buying with more depth of market. That is always better than just to take an impulse trade. Okay, if you ask me, that's how I would answer that question. And some traders don't understand that. And if you don't understand that, then just continue learning. Continue process of learning. Continue learning. If you do take impulse trades, learn from your mistakes. Learn from your profitable impulse trades. I do take impulse candles too. Sometimes they work out great, and sometimes they don't work out great. I do also review my trades that are confirmed with retest. I look at how successful I am on those. Sometimes I also see the ones that are stopped out. Why? Why did I get stopped out? I waited for volume close. I caught my retest. Why did I get stopped out? What happened? Was there news? Was it a fake out? Was there this? Was there that? You got to break it down. Part of analysis and review is breaking the trade down. Okay. See here how we're trading in this zone. US30 came back up, but now it could be coming back down. So that could be that head and shoulder pattern that sellers are continuing to push down, could close below here, could change this green zone to red and continue pushing down. Here we had a nice little pullback on NASDAQ coming right back up to that zone and maybe continue pushing down. Maybe you got to look for a double bottom today to come back up, maybe to have that potential to break through here. Okay, so gold is still trading inside this zone in here. Could it impulsively break out of here? Absolutely. If you're willing to take that trade, test it out. If not, again, what I always say is wait for volume to be confirmed above here. And if you visit our website over here, guys, okay, this is what I was talking about. If you visit our website, go over to more blog. Here's the Jackson Hole Symposium, what it is, okay? So you come to more blog, Jackson Hole Symposium, what it is. Right here, the Jackson Hole Symposium is an annual conference sponsored by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Okay, that's a city in Wyoming, Jackson Hole. This prestigious event gathers central bankers, finance ministers, academics, and economists from around the world to discuss important economic issues, particularly those affecting monetary policy. The event has garnered attention because it often serves as a platform for key speeches and insights from major central bankers, most notably the chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Powell. Importance of traders and investors, policy announcements, economic insights, market volatility. Where is it? Click on here, and you can see it brings you right up to Forex Factory. Day 1 is Thursday, August 21st. Here's a detailed breakdown of what it is, how often it's held, and things like that, okay? And the history, you can see what happened in August 22, 23, 24 of last year. You can go back and look at 2023, 2022. You can go back in the history and see how it affected the markets, okay? And also tips for traders following event: stay informed, okay? Scheduled speeches and panel discussions, especially those involving key figures like Fed chair or ECB presidents. Analyze the tone. Pay attention not just to the content, but also the tone of statements. A hawkish tone might suggest tightening monetary policy, while a dovish tone might imply more accommodative measures and lowering of interest rates. Expect volatility. Always expect volatility on high impact events, anything to do with monetary policy around the world. Focus on data releases, broader context of the whole conference, and effective Jerome Powell's participation. So as the current Fed Reserve, Jerome Powell's comments are closely scrutinized for indications of the Fed's monetary policy trajectory. His views can influence expectations around interest rates, inflation outlook, economic growth, monetary policy strategy, and implications. Okay, so that's what it is. That's happening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday over the weekend. So if you're going to hold any positions over the weekend, consider that event is still going on the weekend, and it may impact how markets open up Monday morning, okay? And guys, we sent out a signal for a sell on US30 over here, at that block, where I took a buy and got stopped out at 45,100. So I didn't see the signal, guys. I wish I did. Probably would have held me off and maybe got me on a sell side. So it was right over here at this block. So it sucks. I didn't see that. Again, gold, okay, coming into the red zone, now pushing down, okay. We can wait for this body to close. You see it's already breaking down structure down in here. You can jump in on this candle prior to it closing. Again, that's what we call an impulse trade. We don't know where it will close until it officially closes. Will it close all the way down in here? Will it come down, get a wick, and close back above here? I don't know. There's still 2 minutes to go and 20 seconds. That's a lot of time. So you can wait for it to close. That's up to you, okay? But guys, that's it for me. I got a lot of things to do this morning. I got to continue. I apologize. I just got to do a few more things around here. Dave is going to come back for a power hour session with you guys on Zoom. And tomorrow, guys, we're going to resume normal hours, okay? So we're back to our 7 to 10 a.m. routine right over here. So Wednesday, 7 to 10, 7 to 10 on Thursday, 7 to 10 on Friday. So we'll go through COMEX and Wall Street, and then Dave will be coming in tomorrow for Post New York, and also today he's going to do a power hour session with you guys, okay? So that's our scheduling for the rest of this week. I apologize for today's earlier session. I had to cancel it because I had a doctor's appointment with my daughter today. Could not miss that. And if you want the blogs, they're available here. You can read a little bit more about this Jackson Hole Symposium, what it is. And if you want to join the team, we'd love to have you guys on the team. We do have trade ideas, signals. You can be part of the SST sniper group here in the commodity group. You know, like it's going well. Lot of engagement, sharing of charts over here. Thank you to Forex Borex, Bernard, everyone sharing their charts. Teamwork is working here. Everyone working with a team. We love this, guys. So continue this. It's commendable what you guys are doing, how we're all helping each other out. You know, I'm very proud of this, to see this. Every day when I wake up in the morning and I see this, I love it. Okay, so it's kind of like creating a trading floor of sound traders that are looking for the same thing, to be financially free, to learn something new, and we can all learn from each other. Like I'm learning from all of you guys as you guys are learning from Dave and I, so we can all learn from each other. Everyone brings something to the table, and it's good to learn from everybody, okay? It's just like when I was learning to trade. I took a little bit from this person, took a little bit from that person. I put it together and found out what works best for me. And but I do appreciate everyone that put their insights in when I was learning how to trade, because I learned a lot from other traders and made it work for me, my style of trading, okay? And again, I understand my style of trading might not be your style of trading, but when I'm breaking down a candlestick, I'm sure if you're a 30-minute trader or an hourly or 4-hour daily trader, I'm sure that you're going to learn something from it, because all candlesticks have the same characteristics. It just, you figure out what time speed you want to go. It's basically, on the 1 minute, I'm kind of fast forwarding the time. I like to be a quick trader. I like to get in and out within 1 hour, 2 hours of trading, hit my daily goal and be done, because I got a busy day. I have other things I do. I don't want to just be sitting at the charts all day like I used to. So those years are over. So some of you guys want to learn that too. But again, you got to learn how to have that proper discipline when you get into trade. Like here, if I was scalping this move coming down, I probably would have been out of this trade by now. Like not even waiting for it to break through this block and create a new low. Just like that, how it kind of came right back up to the red block and sold. If I sold that, I'm telling you guys, like in this candle, like if you're in those two bodies and you're up 30, 35, 40 pips, I probably would be telling you guys I have 80% in my pocket and the rest at break even, or just close out this entire trade, because it could be performing one bottom, there's the neckline, and a second bottom could definitely come back up. But it could also, someone will say, well, Ron, it could close below there and continue dropping. And again, we're going to have that conversation about, yeah, it can do this. But what happens if it just does what I just did? It comes down there, it catches that second bottom, it's all the way back up there, and then you're scratching your head why you didn't take 40 pips out of the market. So again, don't trade like me, okay? Trade your style of trading. Trade the way what complements you, okay? And again, I probably won't trade the way how you trade, because it doesn't fit my personality. So everyone is different, okay? Everyone is unique in their own individual ways. Figure out what's best for you and learn that style of trading, okay? if you want to learn how to scalp, it's fast and it's furious. Okay, you're going to take more losses than more traders. Okay, that's another thing. You're going to take more losses than an average trader because you are in trades more than an average trader who's trading swing trading, right? Who's watching 4-hour candles. They might take 2 setups a week. I might be taking 5 to 10 trades per day. So it's completely different mentality than someone else. Okay, even an intraday trader might be looking for 3 trades per day. You saw today on this call, I took 3 trades, basically scalping the markets, so it's completely different for anyone else. When I go on the 1-minute candles, you might see me take 20 trades on the 1-minute candles, but that's different. Okay, it's all speed. Some people like to go at a slower pace. That's fine. It's just like when you're driving a car. Do you want to be in the fast lane? Do you want to be in the middle lane? Do you want to be in the slow lane? You pick. There's 3 lanes on the highway, and each lane is designated for that particular driver. If you're the slow driver, you just want to cruise at your own pace, you stay in the right lane. If you want to drive in the middle lane, you stay in that lane. If you're the fast and furious driver, you go to the left side and you drive in the fast lanes. Okay, same with trading. But guys, I got to get out of here. I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. sharp. I hope you guys learned something on today's call. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. And Dave will be back for Power Hour with you guys on Zoom. So we'll see you guys. Have a good day today. Thank you guys so much. On YouTube, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys. My partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.